안녕하세요. HGC 페이지 2 3일째입니다. 네, 어제부로 8팀의 순위가 모두 정해졌는데요. 오늘은 각 1승과 각 1패씩 한 팀들의 만남으로 경기가 이루어져 있습니다. 일단 첫 번째 경기는 펠리즈 대 템페스트고요. 두 번째 경기는 미라클 대 슈퍼노바 팀으로 이루어져 있습니다. 이제는 좀 하위권 팀들이 약간 힘을 내서 올라오는 모습을 보여줘야 될 것 같고요. 그 반면에 상위권 팀들은 좀 이 자리를 유지할 수 있는 그런 방어 태세를 보여주면 더 좋을 것 같습니다. 네, 특히 그리고 오늘 슈퍼노바 팀은 만약 템페스트보다 세트 스코어를 좀 좋게 가져간다면 1위의 자리를 유지할 수 있는 상황을 맞이하게 되는데요. 과연 오늘 경기 결과가 어떻게 나올지 굉장히 기대가 됩니다. 네, 그럼 재밌게 관람해 주시고요. 저는 첫 번째 경기 후 승자팀 인터뷰로 다시 돌아오도록 하겠습니다. 그럼 서경환 캐스터님 나와주세요.
네, 잘 받았습니다. 안녕하세요. 2018 HGC K.
We got care casters in our ear there for a second, so I guess like in technicality, he came out on our stream. But my name is Wolf. G-Clef is back. Got good matches today. Could today be the day we don't get 2-3 zeros? Nah, probably not.
The first one, yes. but second one, I am actually hyping this one up because Supernova, they are... What's wrong with my mic? Are you hearing me okay?
Yeah, I hear you. Right.
Supernova, I think they are strong enough to actually take maps off of Miracle. You do have to compare that Supernova, they had their 3-0. Of course, they're in top 4 right now, but only 2 days of matches, and they were against Feliz when Miracle was against Ballistics, so that doesn't really compare too much. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to open the box in match 2 and see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean that's the real tell for, I think, both teams. That's why it's such an exciting match. I know you're leaning towards a Miracle victory. I'm kind of leaning towards a Supernova victory, but it's going to be an exciting one. First series, though, I mean, Feliz, they could not defeat Supernova. They come off that hard loss. They're going to have to face Tempest here, who comes off of a strong win just yesterday. So you could argue they're even warmed up. You know, both of them have the doubleheader this week. Feliz and Tempest both playing twice. That's just how it goes. So a rough week for Feliz if they end up losing this match. Well, the meta is still settling a little bit. One thing I want to focus on today is how much Lunara do we see, because Lunara seems to be very powerful right now. We're seeing her played by the winning teams quite a bit. Asgard played her yesterday, had some struggles, but he almost turned that Towers of Doom game around.
Yeah, you can't really take that poison damage out. I was watching the VOD, of course. Rapid was here yesterday, and then I was looking at some of the Ballistics games as well, and I'm thinking, where does all that damage come from? I mean, SU, and the entire team was just basically destroying. They were on their feet running, but the poison just gets the kill at the end.
Yeah, especially when you're running Karzim. Because Karzim, first of all, he runs Iron Fist now. There's no his old healing build. So you have to keep in mind.
No, Trends is not the build. No.
You have to keep in mind that like Karzim's heal is not on a super long cooldown like Uther, but everyone has to be grouped every time he wants to get the maximum value out of his healing, and it's not on a short cooldown. So I think that Lunara is a really strong pick when Karzim's on the other side, and that's where we've mostly been seeing Lunara in this tournament. So where we continue to see Lunara fall is going to be very exciting to me, because she's never really been a very meta hero here in Korea. It's been more of the European region that has been dominating with her over the past years, with players like Quagnix picking up and doing well.
Yep, and maybe she will become the meta hero. As we soon have Vala. Where's Vala? What happened to Vala? I mean, we saw some Vala Ariel at group stage, and then ever since the first weekend, she's just gone,
Yeah. So I'm thinking that there's a chance that we do see some Vala peek back in. And there was a possibility yesterday, I thought, where we could see the Vala Ariel slide in, but it didn't end up happening. It just depends on, I think, the Battleground. I think the best chance we see of Vala is either going to be Infernal Shrines or or probably BOE is what I was going to say.
Oh, yes.
So look at these standings. The big story again is Supernova and Miracle. They could both, end up, if Miracle wins, with a 3-0, tied at 1-1 and 0-0 and kind of settle in the middle. But right now, we have this line drawn because we had 12-0. We had, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0.
in terms of matches.
We didn't really expect this, but it is going to change starting from now on because first 2 days, I mean 8 teams, they all got to play once, happened to be 3s and 0s, but for today, match 1 may still be a little bit one-sided as Tempest looked very strong yesterday, and Feliz still having some struggles. They lost against Supernova 3-0, though, so that does tell a lot about what's going to happen in match 1. But I would like to see Feliz really stepping up with the drafting because they have been picking up some of the really high tier picks from MSP, but it doesn't seem to fit them too well in the actual game.
Yeah, I mean they're just drafting for the meta. They're drafting for safe. You know, they're drafting the Blaze, for example, early. They're drafting the Jaina. They're trying to go for burst or anti-burst, depending on what their opponents are drafting. But it was Supernova going for double globals in the first game, playing around the Stitches pick that we saw Feliz fail with.
Yeah.
So
Supernova even brought in Brightwing, and they actually pulled it off in the Cursed Hollow, I believe. That was great. And Feliz just had a massive trouble just following the macro, and the game was just over because of that.
Yeah, I think that's the real key factor here is will Miracle be able to out-rotate, out-macro Supernova? Will they be able to challenge them in terms of the globals in the draft while still maintaining a strong draft? Because we saw the Zarya come through as well from No Chat. I mean, this team is showing us 3 different styles in the course of just one series. So, you know, we wondered when the series was over, how much more are we going to see from them, or are they going to go back to standard? You know, we don't know the answers to those questions just yet, but this is the team that they defeated with just some overall mishaps, shall we say, and just they didn't look coordinated. And OJ, we didn't want to start criticizing them after day 1, but by the end of it, I think we could say that the tank play left a lot to be desired.
Aha, he caught off guard. I think it's because, to make a soccer reference once again, like, you can have all the strikers all you want, but you gotta connect the balls from the mid line to actually let the ball go to them and make sure they do the damage. But I think they're missing the mid line, and that comes from the bruiser sometimes with the solo lane, sometimes with not enough healing because they're so separated apart. So that's why OJ keeps on dying by himself all the time, just staying in the front line.
Yeah, I mean, if OJ is dead, you know, you're basically trying to shoot goals from the defenders are trying to shoot goals, right? You know, you have to basically set up in such a way to where OJ can peel. He can also set up engagements with CC. With the Stitches pick, for example, on Cursed Hollow, he was just completely isolated by Brightwing coming in, polymorphing him. The stuns came through with the Blaze as well. Tempest was not flawless yesterday. There were a few overextensions, with Lockdown in particular on the Falstad, dying in the top lane, trying to dive these solo laners. So, they're not a perfect game by Tempest yesterday, and their third map, Towers of Doom, definitely led to some overextensions. And as Rapid and I were talking about yesterday, I felt like a lot of the time it was a little bit of a, not disrespect, but just underestimating their opponents in some team fights, expecting their mechanical skill would carry them through some of these fights where, in fact, they were countered. Where we saw Overlord actually take the off-lane role, which was really interesting to me, playing the solo lane ETC. And, you know, there were some surprises there, but at the end of the day, Tempest didn't look as clean as we expected.
Oh yes, I think it's only the beginning for them because Dami and Good, they kind of swapped roles. Well, it's not really swapping roles, but I guess the lanes they go to, because they do have lots of overlapping hero pool. And Dom was actually okay with his Sonya, which he used to actually be able back at, when was it? When he was with Hong Kong a long time ago, back in Miracle, I believe?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, because he didn't play it on Tempest back in 2016 because Lockdown played it. That's why it was so weird to see Falstad and Sonya played in that way. So normally it was switched. Well, here are our map bans. We will have the Braxis Volskaya, classic old school bans here with the Infernal Shrines pick for Feliz. This has actually been a pretty highly banned map, actually, with the new Alexstrasza meta and everything settling on this battleground recently. We just have not seen as many games on Infernal. People are avoiding it, I think, as people are trying to figure out in Korea, the lower teams who did not attend Midseason Brawl, and figure out how to draft here.
OJ was practicing Garrosh a lot in Hero League personally in his. So we see that ban, not just because Garrosh is just top tier right now, because OJ was specifically practicing their heroes so much. See that taken out instantly by Tempest. And if I know, everyone knows. They should all know that.
Oh, yeah.
That has been the info out there. 'Cause if you play Hero League, I mean, they oftentimes meet each other all the time.
I have to say though, I feel like it's a little bit too late to be practicing Garrosh at this point. You know, I mean, he was at the peak of his meta right before Midseason Brawl and at Midseason Brawl. He has not been very highly prioritized in terms of Warrior. Johanna has passed him in this tournament, like massively. We're seeing even Muradin picked over him oftentimes, so it's a smart ban by Tempest, nothing against it, but just a worrying trend for a player who's feels 2 steps behind now on a weaker team. For Tempest, they have a lot of choices now. They see the Maiev coming out here with the Blaze, makes the Jaina pick less viable. So they're going to go down the Tracer route, the Sonya pick here. I think this should indicate a Tyrael ban from Feliz. Saw Tempest run the Tracer Tyrael yesterday with Judgment, in fact, to great effect.
Oh, the Ballistics.
Oh, that was Ballistics, yeah, my bad.
Someone watched the VOD. Yes, I did.